how to write a 4-sentence you think in under 4 minutes that's going to really impress the recipient. So we're going to do this by using the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is that roughly 80% of your outcomes come from 20% of your causes. The 80-20 rule is a timeless prioritization tool. It helps you to focus energy on the vital inputs that drive results. So we're using this in all the writing that we do here at Essay Cure, and we're going to definitely use it here in this You Think. So the 80-20 rule works like this. If you spend more time on the things that produce the biggest benefit of your result, guess what? You're going to get better results. So we're going to overlay the 80-20 rule onto our rule of writing. So we use the alliteration of communicate, navigate, punctuate to help you remember the steps. Communicate is about 60% of this process. What is it that you're trying to say? Navigate is 30% of the process. And I tell all my students, I hand you this 30%. Everything that you're going to write from now until the time you graduate college, I'm going to hand you 30% of that essay. The navigation helps your reader. You're organizing the content so that you're leading the reader through in the way that you want them to go. And punctuate is just the final 10%. That's grammar, spelling, and punctuation. A lot of students spend an inordinate amount of time on this final step. And I really want you to shift that so that you're spending the bulk of your time, more than 50%, at least 60% of your time on the content. What is it that you're trying to say? So when you're spending a ton of time on grammar, spelling, and punctuation, it's kind of like taking a bite of cheesecake and then pouring toothpaste on your toothbrush and putting your toothbrush in your mouth with the toothpaste. You're really not accomplishing either goal. It's really a gross visual, but I want you to hold on to it, because when you're spending all this time on grammar, spelling, and punctuation too early in the process, those are words and content that may not even make it into the final product. And then you've just spent all that time for nothing. So let go of that need to perfect every sentence before you move on. Get used to breaking that muscle memory and brain dumping your ideas and your content onto the page. So a lot of students say, well, that's not 80-20, that's 60-30-10. And that's exactly right. I used to joke that it was English major math, but really what it is, it's the 3 C's of writing. So a lot of students have been taught in high school about the 3 C's of writing, and we're always trying to build on what you were taught in high school. So good writing is good thinking. Remember, we talk about how college application essays are not about the writing, it's about the thinking and the doing. Good writing is good thinking. Good thinking is good practice. And good practice is the 3 C's of writing that you've been learning in high school: clarity, concision, and coherence. So the 3 C's of writing overlaid onto our 80-20 rules of writing works fine. Can others understand it? Does it follow a logical framework? Is it short and simple so as not to confuse your reader? Clear, coherent, concise. Really what it boils down to is clear content, coherent organization, and concise mechanics. So communicate, navigate, punctuate. That's another way of helping you to remember it. Okay, so we're going to take that lesson and we're going to pour it into this thank you note. Okay, we're going to call it a you thank, because we're turning it upside down. Anytime you can turn conventional wisdom upside down and make an argument, it's really effective writing. So we're going to do that here too. People don't remember what it is that you say. They remember how you made them feel. So think about that. How to write a you thank that will make a lasting and memorable impression on the person who receives it in 4 sentences and 4 minutes. And this is important for high school graduates who have a lot of thank you notes to write. Writing is not a linear process. So notice when I talk to you about the content, organization, and mechanics, I'm using a circle. I'm not using a straight line. You don't start at the beginning and end at the end in almost anything that you write. And those of you who've been with me for almost a year now and are about to graduate high school, they will tell you that these documents get really messy before they get polished. So writing is definitely not a linear process. Don't think of it as start and finish. That's just not how it works. So as we write our you thank, we're going to start with the last sentence. Okay, we're going to start with the 4th sentence because your muscle memory tells you that this is the first sentence that you write. So you're still going to write the first sentence first, but you're going to put it last. So you're going to say, thank you for whatever it is the person did. This is your last sentence. Then we're going to jump up to the first sentence. And we're going to start the first sentence with the word you. And then we're going to describe the kindness. So we're always going to start our you thanks with the word you. You did what? What was the kindness? What was the gift? What was something that they did for you, gave you, provided you, anything that somebody did nice for you? People love to read about themselves. When they see that the first word is you, they're going to say, oh, we're going to be about me here. And they're suddenly very interested. So you've automatically got a hook. A lot of students call it a hook, but in professional writing, we call it a lead, an L-E-D-E, a lead. Then we're going to go into the third sentence. We're going to describe how it made you feel. And then we're going to sprinkle in a specific detail. That necklace is the only long necklace I've ever received, and I love wearing it for a different look. Any kind of specific detail that you can sprinkle in about the gift and why you like it, or about the kindness that you were shown, or about the thing that they did for you. And then when you're done with those 4 sentences and you feel good about your content, then you go back and you look over the grammar, spelling, and punctuation. And that's it.